Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to launch a container and we'll try to connect to the container and we'll try to play around with it. So first of all, we'll go to the architecture diagram of a Docker engine and then we'll try to launch the Docker containers. As you can see, the client is there and the Docker host is there and then registry is there. So client in the sense, let me execute. So Docker version, this command will give you the client and the server. And this particular client is representing in this diagram over here. So we need to use this client software to connect with the Docker engine or maybe the Docker server, right? So let's try to understand this diagram. So if you want to download the image, if you want to download the if you want to run the containers from the image, first of all, we need to execute the Docker commands through the client. And the client will try to communicate with the server, and this server will try to communicate inside the Docker daemon. So this particular Docker daemon will try to do the tasks, whatever you are sending the commands to the Docker client. And let's say if you're trying to pull the image, Docker pull. First of all, when you run this command from your client, it will send the command to the Docker daemon, and the Docker daemon will try to check whether the requested image is available locally or not. If the image is not available, then go to the registry, and from the registry, try to download the image to the local repository or the registry, and it will download the image locally. When you run the Docker run command, it will try to send the command to the Docker daemon, and the Docker daemon will try to identify the image is locally available or not. If the image is not available, it will go to the registry and it will pull the image. Once the image is downloaded locally, then from the image, it will try to run the containers. All right. So as of now, we don't have any images. Here you can see. So let's go to the registry and try to understand the Windows Docker containers and Windows Docker images. And this is the official marketplace for all the images, which is provided by the Docker. And you can try to create your own account, which is free of cost. And first of all, let's try to run any Linux container. Okay, so first of all, we'll try that actually. Okay, so let me do one thing. Alpine. Alpine is a image, minimal Docker image, which is very lightweight. And let's try to pull this image. Here you can see the command also they are provided. It is communicating and immediately it throws an error. No matching manifest for Windows or AMD 64 in the manifest list entries. So with this error message, you can clearly understand that you cannot run Linux-based images or Linux-based containers inside the Windows operating system. We have to run only Windows-based operating containers. Okay, so let's search for that. Windows. Here you can see Windows Server Core is there. Windows Server Core, and which is officially supported by the Microsoft. And here you can see the information which is related to this image and the tags that are available to download the images. Let's try to pull this image. Docker pull command, and then image name mcr.microsoft.com/windows and then /server core, and then we need to specify the tag of this image. So I want to download the latest version, LTSC 2019. This particular command will try to download the image from the registry. All right, so this image is very huge in size. I'll pause the video. Once it is completed, I'll start. All right, the image is downloaded, and we can check that Docker images. Here you can see this is the repository name, and this is the latest tag and the image ID, and which is created 5 weeks ago. Here you can see the size of this Docker Windows image, 4.94 GB, which is very huge. So when you compare the sizes of Windows images and Linux images are very lightweight. And when it comes to the Windows, the size is 4.94 GB. All right, so how we can launch a container from this downloaded image? All right, let's do one thing. Docker container run, and then you can specify a name to this container. My first Windows container in short, and then we need to specify the image name. The image name is mcr.microsoft.com/windows/server core, and then the tag is LTS, and then 2019. So apart from this, we need to specify -IT. I stands for interactively, T stands for give the terminal back. And if you want to run this image in the background, you can use the -D in a detached manner. But I don't want to do that. Let's execute this. All right, so there is a spelling mistake, I think. Yeah. So in the image name, we need to specify LTSC. It's LTSC 2019. Let's run this command. There you go. The container is created, and container is connected to this PowerShell. And you can see the host name. The host name is entirely different. And ipconfig, this is the IP of the container. And if you want to see the directory structure, dir is the command. So here you can see the program files is there, program files 86 is there, users is there, Windows is there. So let's go to the users and check how many users are there. Administrator user is there, container administrator is there, container user is there, public is there, right? So this looks like a typical Windows container. And to clear the screen, we can utilize the CLS. And if you want to come out from the Docker container, so you have to press Control P Q. Control P Q together. Let me do one more time. Control P Q to come out from the Docker container. Here you can see the PowerShell is got changed back to the host operating system. Let's check the container is running or not. Docker container ls. The container is up and running. And also instead of ls, you can utilize, you can use the ps also, right? So if you want to print only the container IDs, you can utilize this command. Docker ps also you can utilize to print the information of the container running containers. And Docker ps -a, it will give you the overall containers, whether it is running, whether it is stopped, it will give you all the information of the Docker containers. Docker ps -aq, or yeah, this will give you only the container ID of the particular Docker container. All right, so you just came out from the Docker container. How you want to, if you want to connect back to the Docker container, how we can do? Docker exec is the command, and then -it, and then the container ID is, you can utilize this container ID, or else you can provide the container name as well. And then just try to compare the things with the Linux and Windows. So if it is a Linux container, if you want to connect to the Linux container, At the end of the docker exec command, we'll try to provide either bash or bin bash or sh to connect to the shell. The similar way, you can utilize the cmd to connect to the container. You just connected to the container. Let's come out from that. Control PQ. And instead of cmd, you can use the PowerShell as well to connect to the Docker container using the PowerShell. There you go. Now you are connected to the Docker container, and let's quit from this. Control PQ. And the difference between, if you are connecting the Docker container using the CMD, cannot execute the PowerShell commands. So ls is not recognized as an operator internal. Okay, so let's quit from this and then connect from PowerShell. Using this PowerShell, we can able to execute the PowerShell related commands. I think when you're trying to connect into the Docker container using the CMD, just using the CMD prompt. Otherwise, whenever you're connecting to the Docker container using the PowerShell, it's like opening the PowerShell. So that is the difference between those two. All right. So how we can create the Docker, how we can create the directories inside the Docker container. You can utilize the mkdir command, and then folder name is Prasad. Here you can see the folder is got created. It's just an empty folder. I'm just coming out from the Docker container, and then what I'll do is I'll try to copy a file from my Windows operating system to the Docker container, right? So let's do that thing. Let's go to the C folder, and then there try to create a file. For that, I'll try to utilize a Visual Studio Code editor. It will be very easy to create the files and all. And here I'll try to create a folder called mkdir Docker stuff. And I'll try to open the same thing, open folder. Docker stuff. All right. So just try to create a file at this location. The file name is Windows copy test.txt. Just try to enter a name, enter a description. This file is created at Windows host operating system. Save this file. And how we can copy this file? Let's go to the Docker stuff and do ls. The file is got created over here. And if you want to check the content of the file, you can use cat command. This is the content of the file. And docker ps. I want to copy this file to the inside of the Docker container at Prasad folder, right? So docker cp, and where is the source file? Source file is here only. File name is Windows copy test. And then what is your target? Our target is Docker container. Let's copy paste the container ID. Sorry, I pasted twice. This is the container ID, and then colon inside the container. So where you want to copy at C/Prasad inside I want to copy. Just execute this command. There you go. Command executed successfully. And then we can check the container docker exec-it, and I want to execute a cat command without connecting to the Docker container, right? So for that, I can utilize this docker exec command, and then I can use PowerShell cat c : prasad slash windows underscore copy underscore test.txt. There you go. The file content is just displayed. This is how you can execute the commands using the PowerShell against the Docker containers. Docker ps, right? How to stop the Docker container? The command is docker stop the container ID. Okay, it's just stop. And how to remove the container? Docker rm is the command to remove the container. There you go. Docker ps, nothing is there. Docker ps -a, nothing is there. So this is how you can launch a Docker container, Docker Windows container, and you can play around with this. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.